Hey everyone, I'm Rachel,
And I'm Jen, and welcome to Devilish Bookworms, the podcast.
where we read and review books and release episodes every Tuesday.
This week we have Welcome to Meadowbrook by Cassandra L Thompson.
Yay!
The Meadowbrook Hotel has been used for many things over the years. It has been a hotel, an asylum for the mentally ill, a girls' school, a wellness spa, but the one thing that has always remained the same, those that enter the hotel never leave. Welcome to a world where time means nothing, reality doesn't exist, and you'll never know who to trust. Welcome to Meadowbrook. Dun dun
Dun
dun.
dun dun. So, in Welcome to Meadowbrook, you will find the following triggers. We have alcoholism and addiction, body horror, light gore, child abuse, implied child death, decapitation, drowning, medical abuse, mental illness, mental abuse, off page miscarriage, off page parent death, racism, sexism, and attempted suicide. So basically, it's just going to be a ball of laughs.
Yeah, well, I mean, this book definitely doesn't give the vibes of anything cozy, right? From even just the cover. You could
Oh
tell that
no.
it's going to be something horrible and spooky, and I love the feel that this cover gives.
Yeah, it's kind of bomb. I mean, I'm a big fan of old school kind of like art deco vibes. Like old Hollywood kind of. I don't know. I love the building on the front. And from the description on the inside, I feel like I would love the inside. And the color scheme is all like dark and gloomy, and then boom, right in the middle. Welcome to Meadowbrook. Even like the little, what is that little, I don't know what it's called, but like the little sentence or whatever on the front, it says, beware the illusion of time. And I'm like, well, if this ain't right up my alley.
Honestly, like every time we saw this kind of scrolling by on threads, it was just like one of those things. We got to read this. We've got to read this. We've been talking about this book for way too long, and now we finally got a chance to actually read it.
Ooh, ooh. So in the front, there's a poem from the author, which was beautiful. This is something about old hotels, the way the ghosts of 100 different stories linger in the halls, the smell of sanitized sheets that can't compete with the musty aroma of age, a liminal space where you don't have to exist, or you can. Either way, you'll be forgotten. And like right from there, I was like, oh, she gets me. It's like people come and go and they stay in hotels all the time and they don't even think about it. Like they don't, I mean, I guess if you think about like the Cecil and stuff, people do, consider the people that stay there. But for the most, on the grand scheme of things, like everyone's just transient, right? Like everyone just comes
Mhm.
and goes. And either way, whatever happens just kind of disappears.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like newer hotels, you really don't stop to think about it as much. But when you get to like an older hotel, it makes you like question what kind of celebrities may have stayed here, what kind of upper class, lower class people may have stayed. I don't know. To me, it gets me wondering, but I've only ever stayed in an older hotel once in my life in New York, and it was freaking bomb. Like this place was so cool. But I mean, it wasn't like anything like this type of place. And man, do I wish I could stay in something like this if I knew I could get out.
Right, that's true. Yeah, when you're in the and when you're in Meadowbrook, you don't really have that option. You kind of are part of the hotel forever.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's because it's like you're so unsuspecting, and then all of a sudden you're just like, there you go. You're in it. You're in it for the long haul. Don't even try getting out because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So I read chapter 1. I read the prologue and I got wicked creeped out. If anyone knows me, Jen loves to laugh at this. So in the prologue, we have the setting is in 1938, and it's a story about a woman named Theodora. And the way each chapter went, like I read chapter one, which was about a gentleman named Matthew Collins in 1992, and it was like wicked creepy. And then the next chapter, we jump to 1985, and it's about a woman named Olivia. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So, what I did was, as I was reading it, I put like chapter one, 1992, Matthew Collins, chapter two, 1985, Olivia. And I put a little like synopsis of what each chapter was. And it's really cool. Jen, I'll send you like a kind of like a little snippet. But did you do the same thing?
I'm literally about to send you a picture of it was funny because like I started with chapter I think one and two, or prologue one and then one and two, and I was like, huh, maybe I need to start writing some of these down. And I started jotting shit down. So I even have a secondary paper because I was at work while reading and I didn't bring my notebook. And I was like, okay. So I started writing like chapter five, Randall, 1969 on one of it. And then I had to go back and write it on a separate paper because I was at work. But oh
I'm
yeah.
so dead. So for everyone that can't see our screenshots, it's the exact same thing.
It's actually kind of hilarious.
That's kind of creepy. So when we get to chapter two and we're in 1985, and Olivia finds Olivia finds a hole in the wall, and we're not going to go too deep into it, obviously, because you have to read it. But she finds a hole in the wall, and in there are pages that were written on a typewriter from Matthew Collins in 1992. Mind you, Olivia's in 1985. And right at that point, as soon as I saw 1992 in 1985, I was like, oh, she has my heart. I'm so invested. I don't care what happens. This is my favorite book of the year. Like, I was so jazzed that we had wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Oh, I was so excited.
I love that you actually said it like that because everybody needs to love the Doctor Who reference. Just soak it up. But oh yeah, this book, the way that it bounced around, I actually really loved it. Normally I don't like things that bounce around back and forth and, take me to different places or different people. But this wasn't like a chaotic way of doing things, but it was very organized. You got all the details that you needed about that person. And then we like switch scenes and then we're on to another person. And the way she wrote it was so beautiful. It was beautifully done. It was creepy as fuck. I loved every fucking moment of this because there was no stopping all the twists and turns that you were taking or the snippets that you see of other characters that you need to make sure you remember for later on. And beautifully done.
Yeah, it's insane how so let me see how many chapters were in this book. There were 11, and then there was an epilogue, which was again from someone else's point of view. So there's 12 chapters, which means there's 12 plus the prologue, which would be 13. So you have 13 different chapters from different people's points of view. And for some reason, it didn't feel rushed. Each person had their own individual tone. Each person had their own unique backstory. And you got Jen, just as you said, like you got everything that you needed for a context point of view. There was nothing extra, but you got enough to feel like you knew the character. It's insane to me how she was able to fit so much so elegantly, and it just flowed so beautifully, like you said, in and out of everyone's timelines, and they were all threaded together by, either by Harold, who was the main person, or by different side characters. I was baffled and in awe.
Yeah, honestly, like you said, the way she threaded it together was so awesome. There was definitely inklings of certain things or certain characters becoming more important later. But ooh, she tripped me up with one character who I was like, nah, they're not really anything big deal. Like, obviously, they're there, but when she made them more of a big deal, I was actually kind of like, holy shit. Okay, this took a different twist than I thought, but at the same time, it still fit. It wasn't forced and it made sense in the end. And that was the most important thing. Like, to have all these different characters having their own story and still being able to put them all together and still give us that curve that you didn't expect.
Exactly.
Oh,
I there was a point because she says in the very, very beginning in her author's note, she says, well, it's in the preface. Also, if you're the type of reader who hates ambiguity and filling in narrative blanks with your imagination, this is probably not the book for you. So at first, I was like, holy crap, I'm going to love this. And then I was like, oof, Jen might
Jen's gonna
not
hate
love
it.
it. Yeah, I did. I was like, oh no. But also I'm wicked excited. And then the more I read it, I was like, there's no way Jen's gonna hate it. Not even a little
So
bit.
I honestly, when I read that, I was like, oh fuck. This book is definitely not meant for me already. And like she's already alluding to that. And I'm so concerned because this author is a freaking sweetheart, absolute sweetheart. But at the same time, like I didn't want to hate her book, but then I'm reading it and I'm like getting more and more involved and into it. And like I love the way her brain works. I like
Yeah.
I can't wait to read anything else by her. Anything. I don't even care. Just give me another book.
Well, we're jumping forward a little bit, but she has more.
I know. I
She
know.
has other stuff.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I
And
hope I'm
just
doing a better job this week because last week, y'all, if you listen to last week's episode, my whole microphone the whole time was just like,
oh,
I don't know if you can hear that, but it's insane.
as well as my microphone sounding a little better, more crystal clear
Yeah, my
because
bad. I should have told you, but I
bro,
don't know. I don't know why I did it.
it was my own fault. I didn't notice until I yelled at her through, well, what I thought was the microphone, and in fact was my headphones. And I was like, oh, well, my bad.
Yeah. Anywho,
Yes, back to this lovely story.
back to the lovely story. So, there was a lot in terms of character development, I thought too, because even through the time jumps you were able to um see different characters in different stages of their own lives. But it it, it could you choose a favorite character? Do you have one or a couple?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think Olivia became one of my favorites.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, not Olivia.
Cindy.
Cindy.
Cindy,
Cindy.
yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I think I would say June would be the other one.
Oh, oh, June.
Yeah. What about you?
You know what's funny is my two my two are Cindy and PJ.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
I just adored him. Uh, and I'll tell you, he like he had such loyalty to his family and to his friend.
Mm,
Even the very last page when things
yep.
happened and he had to like defend. He's like, I was like, okay, listen, poorly placed loyalty, but that's really sweet.
I love how no,
Nope.
no. I can't even say why I like either of my characters.
I like Cindy. She's just so down to help people. Like she's not a mean spirited person. She's not, she's broken and she has her demons, but I just love the fact that no matter what, she was always like, you're safe with me, I got you, like stick with me and we'll be good.
So I don't know if I could hold on. Do you remember the episode in Doctor Who where one of the chicks, she was an actress and her boyfriend got turned into a pig from the Daleks and
In
she
the 20s or something.
yes.
I loved
This
her.
that chick is who I thought of when I thought of Cindy.
Oh, really?
That's the only person I could see in my brain.
I thought of like Daisy Buchanan mixed with like Alice from Twilight. That really you get it.
Like bubbly vibe, but like still willing to whoops mass.
Mhm.
Yes. Ugh, I hurt Cindy.
I know. I love Cindy. Can we get a whole Cindy book? No, I was gonna
Honest,
say yes, but I feel like my heart would break too much for her.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I will say, I hope she comes out with a secondary book. I don't know how she would do it. I don't know what could, but I would love a second book of this.
I don't. I think it's perfect. It's
It is
perfect as
perfect.
it is.
It is, but I would love to see other people kind of like, how ooh, Blood Mansion was. No, was it Blood Mansion? Yeah, it was Blood Mansion where the guy fixed up the house and then everybody stayed in there and then all but like two people died or something like that. No, that was a different book.
What?
I'm combining two different books.
I think you are. I think you are talking about Blood Mansion, but I don't think because Blood Mansion was the one where the guy, it was like the most haunted house, and he bought it and he like built it with like all of the most
The
haunted
pieces.
bits of all
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't they have a wedding party there and then everybody got
Yeah.
killed?
Yeah,
Okay, so
actually.
yeah, it was that
No.
book.
Wait. Did everyone get yes, everyone got killed, but the wife disappeared or something like that.
Yeah. The husband and wife. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a good book.
Yo, if you guys haven't read Blood Mansion by Robert, what is it, Howell?
Howell.
Read it. Do it. That book was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I think Cassandra would even love that book because
She might.
it's kind of like the same vibes except just different premise.
Real quick, so like we love comparing books, but like I there was an instance one time where I compared a book to something else and someone was like, well, I mean, it's not the same. Not like they copied it. And I'm like, no, not like they copied it, but like let's be honest,
No.
at this point in time, like everything is kind of derivative. You know what I mean? Like, not that I'm not comparing things because it's one person copying another thing, but it's like, if you like this, then you might like this. That's why comps are a thing, like it's not anything bad.
No, not at all.
So we're saying if you like, Welcome to Meadowbrook, you might really dig Blood Mansion and vice versa.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not saying one is better than the other. They're just both really good books.
This one was so good.
It was so good. They were both so good.
They were both. This might be a weird one. Did you have a favorite quote? Because I had an issue with this.
So I didn't have a favorite quote
Yep.
because it just, there was a lot of beautiful writing, but there was just no one quote that stood out more than the rest.
Right. I I will say my favorite because um I thought it legit gave me chills. But up until this point, my favorite quote is the very, very, very last sentence. And up until that point, I legit I even thought about it. I was like, there's nothing in there that I would say is like my favorite quote because it was written beautifully, like you said, but there was nothing that was kind of like boom, like a punch. But the very last quote sentence paragraph bit It says, "Well, hello there," he said, delight in his voice. "The name is Dobby, Harold Dobby. Welcome to Meadowbrook." And I was like, because it was the ending of the book. It was the very, very end of the book, but it also brought you back to a beginning. It's like, welcome to Meadowbrook. And so I was like, even in her writing, she still, the way that she structured the book still has no respect for time. And I loved it. The last paragraph was a beginning, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, she really had a way of still sucking you back in even at the end.
It was fantastic.
Like I want more. That's the whole reason I want more. It's not
Well,
enough.
you know what's really cool is she said in the author's note or whatever, she's like, read it front to back first. But realistically, you can read it in whatever order you want to. And I when she said that, I was wicked confused. And then I read it and I was like, oh my God, you can read it in whatever order you want to. So
Yep.
even though it's just one book, I feel like if you switched it up and read it in different orders, it might hit different.
It could. It definitely could. But I don't see that's where you and I have to have a conversation after, because I think there's one character that needs to be exactly where they were in the book for it to hit as many times as it did.
Is it the main person?
It, I don't think if we would have seen get stuck and then again in little bit and then again in bit and then again, I don't think it would have hit. So
Yo.
you know
Okay,
what I mean?
I do. I do. And this is like, you know how there's those movies where they're like, if you watch it again and again and again, like Inception, if you watch it and then you
Yeah,
watch
you
it
catch
again, you
different
pick up
things.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yes. That's why my mind was so fucking blown. I was like, I could not fucking help but just to be like every fucking corner. After
Yo.
finding out that crucial little bit, it made fucking sense. And oh my God, I was just like, holy shit.
Oh my God.
You're welcome for blowing your mind with that.
I almost feel like we need to send an unedited version to Cassandra so she can hear what just happened. Oh,
Oh,
dang. Okay.
yeah. So
Wow. 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10.
she blew my fucking mind.
Ugh.
That's what I never saw coming. That was what I never fucking predicted. And I was just like,
Yo. I need to read her other books.
so, Rachel, what are your final thoughts about this book now?
Yo, this 10 out of 10. Man, I was so excited. I finished the book and I was like, and I took my notes and I did the whole thing. And I was like, I love this book. I love everything about this book. I love how gritty and raw and, intense it was. And there were parts that were gross. And like, I loved it. I loved the morally gray characters because even like, I feel like H, you can't really, yes, right? Like, hate him, but like, at the same time, like there's elements.
Yeah.
And so I was like down. And then for some reason, I just, 10 out of 10. This book's fantastic.
Yeah. Like, I when I tell you my mind was blown, I thought, like I said in the beginning, I thought I was going to hate it, but Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, I need more books like this.
Seriously, like this book was such a mind fuck. Right until the very end, and I need you to understand that I'm glad I took the notes the way that I took the notes, because then I had more of an appreciation for it.
Yeah. Well, when we had chapter 1 with Matthew, although I really like Matthew too. Not favorite, maybe third favorite.
I
But
hate
we
his
had
name, but
facts. We had Matthew in chapter 1 and Cindy's helping him. And then we have Cindy in chapter 3, and I was like, oh, strap in, because this is gonna be a wild ride.
Yep, that's kind of around the time, and I was like, yeah, we got to go back. Well, actually, I think it was Matthew's chapter that I was like, no, there's too many names. I gotta write this down, keep track. Because that, yeah, Matthew and Cindy, right there.
Jesus Christ. Well, this mind-blowingly beautiful book was written by um hold on. This book was written by Cassandra L Thompson. Thompson is an author and CEO of Quill and Crow Publishing House, which also, by the way, turns out some other incredibly spooky books. And there was one that I wanted to read, and it had something to do with I'm going to still, and I know it's on my Goodreads TBR, but it's something about like a house and a stepmom and a stepson who like inherited it together. I don't know. There was stuff, and I was like, well, I'm gonna read that. Um. Anyway, so yes, check out Quill and Crow Publishing House. Anyway, Thompson has also written the Ancient Ones trilogy, My Little Black Book of Horror, and The Dark Queen's Apothecary. You can find her on Instagram and Threads at Cupcakes and Bats, and on her publishing house website, quillandcrowpublishinghouse.com.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure the Dark Queen's Apothecary is on my TBR.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure it's even in my Kindle.
Listen, gothic fiction is just, it just has my whole entire heart. And I feel like I just need to go just straight down the list. What we have their newsletter. We were signed up for the newsletter.
Oh, well, that's cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm fucking jazzed now.
Yeah, there's a whole folder in our email that has all as soon as they come in.
I love it. I love that you're so organized with that.
I try, man.
I'd be nothing
When it
without you.
when it comes to work, dude, like I am hyper organized. My car is a mess, but my filing cabinet is immaculate.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Yeah.
Anyway, Jen, can you tell everyone what we're reading next week?
Next week, we're not reading a damn thing.
No, we might. We're just not going to do an episode next week. Listen, I mean,
It's
we're,
been since the first week of the year that we have had off.
yeah. And I feel like obviously with the holidays, we're going to have more weeks off, but like this just felt like a good week to have off.
Yeah, facts.
So we're going to read something else.
I think we both deserve that. And there's about 900 books calling my fucking name.
Yeah. So mini not vacation. Whoop whoop.
Woohoo! Which actually works out because it's my mini not vacation this weekend at work too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm taking my kiddo to a bunch of Halloween themed things. Like,
Oh,
yeah, the haunted hayride and all that.
you almost said it.
I did. I almost did. I did not though. I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
I suckers.
I gave up. I want a stalker. Stalk me. I gave up with the whole like there was someone who was on Threads, like the anonymity thing. There was someone on Threads was it yesterday that we follow and they follow us. And they're like, "Oh, we did the Carson City like ghost walk." And I was like, "What? I know where you are." I was like, "I'll be there next year." Whatever.
Oh, you're so funny.
I don't have enough stalkers in my life.
I've got enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Anyway, so yes, we'll take next week off. And then I mean we're not gonna take it off. You'll still hear from us, hopefully, if you if you're subscribed to us on all of the channels. So then our next episode will come out. This one will come out on the 22nd. And then today's Snoop Dogg's birthday. I thought it was yesterday because I thought all day that yesterday was the 20th. Nope, today's the 20th. But so then the next one will come out on what, the 5th of November?
No, remember, the 5th of November, the gunshots, the trees, and the plot. Yes. Sorry.
And I'm the Anglophile over here.
Hey, so little Guy Fawkes never hurt anybody. Wink, wink.
You're so dumb. So we're taking the week of Halloween off.
Oh, I'm so happy. I can't even tell you how happy I am.
That's okay. We'll do a spooky book for November.
Yay.
Yay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Devilish Bookworms.
If you want to chat with us, be sure to check us out on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can also find our podcast on YouTube and wherever else you listen to podcasts.
We will see you next week.
Bye. Bye.